Hey y'all, it's Trent Knox with The Trent Knox Show. It is Saturday, February 9th. It's 11 o'clock, 11:13 in the morning. I'm getting on the podcast just to kind of talk about these new forms of employment. So I've been working for Postmates for about 6 months now, maybe a little bit more. I started in September, and then October, November, December, January, and now we're in February. So a little less, actually, 5 months ish. And the benefits of doing this job is that I don't have anybody that I'm working for directly overseeing my work. I am scheduling, budgeting, and managing my whole business. What's the word I'm looking for? That I've said it before. I've said this word before. It's a business term for being a sole proprietor. And as a sole proprietor of a business, an independent business with no management structure, no employment staff, it's just me, and I have to budget for depreciation of my vehicle, the cost of gas, cell phone, data, all of the aspects of expenses and reports that go into doing Postmates. Postmates is a delivery application similar to Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, Favor. It's in the last mile. The term for these type of businesses are called last mile. So from the distributor, that's not the right word. What word am I looking for? The sales point to the customer. That's not right. That's a description of it. I'm not saying the right word, but you get the point. Hopefully, maybe I'm driving the point home. But it's the last mile from the merchant to the customer. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. Merchant. And the ease of use, because it is an application-based system. It's not in the old days where the delivery companies that were, managing merchants, restaurants, retail stores, clothing stores, those companies, they were managed through an online system or a phone call to the restaurant or a phone call to the delivery company, and you had to know what the menu was. It was a complicated system, and the advent of applications in the Google Store and in the App Store on Apple phones made it so that the process was a lot easier. With the start of companies like Uber, Lyft, Fasten. I'm sure there's a local rideshare company in your area that was the last mile for black car and taxi services, which really changed the game for a lot of industries. It made it a lot easier for the transportation system to be executed in the best way logistically. So when it started to happen in food with the restaurant business, and also with retail stores and fast casual or gas stations, and one of the things that has been on Gary Vee's audio experience, the Gary Vee experience, and other shows that he does, is he was talking about that that 7-Eleven is going to be going out of business if they don't start focusing on this last mile, because the likelihood or the number of customers that have taken surveys or have been or analytics from visuals from security cameras, or because there's an NFC chip inside your phone that's activated as you cross the line into a 7-Eleven, they've seen a growing number of walk-in customers to 7-Eleven purchasing items within the store declining. Okay, so he was saying, and he says that 7-Eleven will be out of business if they don't start focusing on the last mile. So they did. They started working on 7NOW and started working with companies like Postmates, Uber Eats, these companies to provide delivery services for items in their store, like chips, cookies, impulse items like these. Because 7-Eleven has a foundation on impulse items, not big staples, or starch food items like vegetables, meats, other things that a supermarket would have, like Walmart or here locally in Texas, H-E-B, or Sam's Club, or any Costco, Target. Those companies have to establish their own sort of delivery systems, and Walmart has done that with Walmart delivery to a certain extent, and H-E-B has done that with their services, and there's kind of a third-party partnerships with companies like Instacart, companies like Shipt and whatnot that have moved into that space of bulk purchases. But none of those companies have done what Lyft, Postmates, Uber Eats has done in utilizing companies like Stripe or PayPal or whatnot to directly deposit the money that is earned by through doing these deliveries for the drivers, or the direct connection between the consumer or the client and the merchant. And I think that my conversation I'm getting right now, coming in my own head, my interpersonal conversation, is that I've come to a wall where I want to be a person who is running my own business. Maybe I want to find a mentor, a consigliere to counsel me as it in regards to profiting and starting to create equity and income to be saved and put away for the future, in purchasing businesses and acquiring real estate and getting into large ticket item purchases, like getting into the business of selling high powered machinery, or getting in the business of selling jet airliners, and getting into these big ticket items that are out there, from commercial real estate, large products, and my aspirations are only limited by my ignorance. So if I'm unaware that, and this is something that I was watching the interview between Joe Budden and 2 Chainz recently, where they started talking about game on certain things, and how he's moved into purchasing real estate, and that how he mentioned Mark Cuban and Mark Cuban's business acumen, and how many businesses he's currently invested in, whether that's directly owning or holding a minority stakehold in a business, but being a majority member on the board, or whatever the case may be with those particular businesses. My functionality right now is I don't hold a lot of capital. I don't hold a lot of capital. I have 3 businesses of my own. I run Austin Live and Local as a press outlet. I run the Trent Knox Media Company as a services and potentially a product-based company that offers digital media, social media, production management. It's partially, a network company that can offer networking within event space, or maybe you're looking for people to fulfill a role or do some headhunting for you. That's kind of what my company does that way. And then there's the media company with Cyber City Media, and that's focused on new trends, large things. Like it's kind of like a parent holding company until I kind of come into fruition about the holding company of all my companies, and how I fit inside the ecosystem of these ideas, because I have a lot of ideas, and the formulation of these ideas are designed in a way that they don't center from you. If you have an idea, it becomes where you have to have some legal protection. You have to have the ability the idea then gets developed, and then it becomes a entity of its own outside of you. And this is not like another human being, like in relation to. It is similar because people in the United States of America are treated like businesses and opportunities. That we are citizens of a system that is intended to look out for our best interests through the Social Security system, though it doesn't necessarily turn out to be the best system, because then we have the Internal Revenue System that utilizes the Social Security number to the Social Security Administration information to sell that data and analytics to JP Morgan and Chase, the Wells Fargo company, the IMF, or certain banking institutions that are bigger, that manage the movement and logistics of human beings. Because if you and this is probably tinfoil hat conspiracy, but it's not. It's the actual reality we live in. Plus, we have influences from the media companies like a Robert Murdoch and Media Matters, and how these things relate to us as human beings and determine the moves that there's a way for companies to learn that information and then do things that will direct that individual in a particular path throughout their life, because they are basically telling a story in which if you don't choose this path, there will be negative repercussions. So let's say essentially Google tells you when you have to wake up, because through their analytics they can determine when you should take your medicine, when your alarm should go off to wake you out of your REM sleep or whatever it may be. And then after that, you're notified that you have to go get gasoline in your car. But Shell has bought the mile between you and the closest gas station to make sure that the only directions that you will have to be able to get to that gas station are funded and hosted by Shell Corporation. And so now you're on this path, and little do you know that there are other opportunities out there that could potentially help you get out of the negative advertisement or a negative outcome that comes from being controlled through advertisement, banking, all of these things, because the risk that it takes to get out of this continual repeated cycle is going to a place that is remote, that's off the grid, like Africa or like the Amazon. No pun intended, because Amazon is essentially putting up satellites into our orbit, into the outer orbit, so that they're able to visually see inside of the Amazon and track all moving things around the globe without to the microscopic atom level. And so now you have, Elon Musk, and you have all of these big names in engineering, manufacturing, science, technology, literature. All of those people are highly invested in technology and the advent of applications to monitor their assets, because humans then become assets of global banking. So if there's not it's like a virus. If there's not a host to transmit, no, that's not the right word. What's the word for that I'm looking for? Basically, spread the virus, which may be like, it may be blockchain Bitcoin, it may be the US dollar, it may be the Canadian dollar, it may be some form or fashion of that particular monetary materialistic item that is highly valued within the people. Then we have to kind of figure out some way that we can make agreements without that, and have an individual basis instead of there being a representation for us all. We should all represent ourselves. Unfortunately, the issue with that is that that like individual Tim Pool was talking with Joe Rogan. The issue with that is that whenever someone starts to talk about the state of equity over the state of equality, the equity, everybody should make the same thing, doesn't make sense, because people that have a guaranteed income, not a guaranteed income, like everyone, let's say everyone gets $15, right? Without doing anything. It's like a social income. So everyone gets $15 and the market stays the same. Let's say all of the prices stay the same, that they don't adjust to this new equal income, this, whatever you want to call it, this guaranteed income of $15. Now everything is priced at a point at which, unless you do have a form of a job, this $15 isn't going to be able to afford you to get milk. Essentially, that's the argument, right? So then the other thing is the equal equity or equal equality, is that people that will look for social net worth, it's how many people care about how popular they are. Not too many people over money. Most people want money over social value or social net worth. It's so ultimately we have to figure out what's the best way for us to get an income in the current system, and not talk about the way that the future is going to be, but what's going to happen in the now. And that's how companies like 7-Eleven have transitioned, and how Gary Vee's statement needs to be updated on the business of 7-Eleven going out of business, because they're handling situations in the now, and the now is always right now. So 7-Eleven has done their adoption, but they haven't done the training. So as a person who is a driver for and picks up a lot of 7NOW orders, the biggest issue is that the staff at the 7-Eleven aren't sufficiently trained on the software. So they implemented the software before they trained the staff to be able to utilize the software and execute properly on it. And there are technical issues that continue to happen with 7-Eleven's products. But they do a lot of advertisement locally by putting their branding on state-funded signage, and they're also doing advertisement up on billboards. So people are aware that 7-Eleven is still in business, but are they aware that 7-Eleven is doing deliveries? Well, I've been seeing 7-Eleven do a lot of advertisement within successful digital marketers and successful social media influencers, and providing that those influencers with some sort of monetary gain for advertising them to the people, to their viewership. And my thing with this is that the world is becoming far more job opportunities are less based on experience. They're less based on what you know, who you know. It's about what you have. And for a long time, that what you have was a diploma or a degree from an accredited institution. But now these accredited institutions have had too many students in the student body and not enough staff to properly counsel those students on what direction or what job market is seeking the most employees or people that will be able to grow with the business. So, for instance, I went to a college and received a degree in a field that is not lucrative. There's not a lot of opportunity and not a lot of employment within that industry. And if you are going to be in the industry and try to make money doing it, you have to be able to do it on your own. Last podcast I did with Brian with Common Chaos, he did me a huge favor in saying, and I appreciate you, Brian, if you're listening to this podcast, Brian Kern of the Common Chaos podcast, commonchaos.net, Common Chaos Network. There are a lot of big things that come with the Common Chaos Network. I hope that I hope there's some way that I can help him, whether it's me talking about the network or talking about the podcast or talking about the brand Common Chaos, and helping him grow that and establish it, and hopefully that he sees my value in getting that business up and running, and when it does begin to start earning some income, then I will be recognized for being one of those people that helped him found that company, just as I recognize when Austin Live and Local was first coming to fruition. I had a lot of people who helped me put in the hard work to get those things done, and if I see success in the business, I'm absolutely going to pay that forward, and down to the bottom of people who have been have helped, whether that's from the production assistant role to the CEO, the one that's the people who've championed it, like Brian being a crucial member of the people that have helped me get it, because I've never hired anyone, never had any staff or anything like that. However, he did say on his podcast, and we had a conversation about a specific time, a couple different specific times in which we were working indirectly, somewhat directly with DreamHack Austin, which is a gaming conference and festival that's in the area that we were helping. We passed out a couple of we passed out some flyers. We did some advertising. We did some podcasting. I had a staff of maybe 5 5 or 4 people that went to local events, gaming, cosplay, different things, and we did advertising and guerrilla marketing. Then we went out and we did a press coverage of 10 or 11 people that I was at the helm of, kind of getting them within the ecosystem of DreamHack and covering the festival. And we did an okay job. We got a lot of stuff going, and for Austin Live and Local, and additionally, because it was kind of like an opportunity to give and receive in getting an opportunity to experience something that I enjoyed, as well as quite a few of the people that were on my team were interested in as a industry that they're interested in. And we produced, and we came hard with a product, and I've had to do that solo with various different other various other different conferences, and yes, DreamHack is definitely a big brand, and I really want to say to them that I thank DreamHack, and I thank them for the opportunity that they gave me to go there, and because they are such a big brand, they are forward-thinking people that want to help out and give opportunities to small new influencers, small streamers, smaller gaming content creators. They want to provide, even though they work with big brands like Razer and Monster and other big things like microbreweries such as the New Belgium Brewing Company, and these larger market companies. They do offer a lot of opportunity to the smaller streamer. They offer a lot of opportunity to the smaller media company, and the bigger companies that are out there, like the ACLs, the South Bys, are dedicated to the establishment and don't necessarily give a lot of opportunities out to the up and coming artists. You don't. It's like, to equate it to anything would be like the music industry, whereas like country music is very like cliquish, and if you're there are like small niches like the Taste of Country, which is like a brand that's coming from the YouTube hemisphere to cover smaller, unsigned artists. But essentially now what's happening is something like a South by isn't offering enough opportunity to the unsigned artist to get into that system. By the time that the artist that's unsigned is successful, the opportunities for them at South by the branding there isn't good enough to elevate their career level. So what's happening now is that small labels that are in the music industry, the technology industry, the gaming industry, interactive, education, smaller labels, like for instance Udemy for education. What else? What is another good one for music? Spotify, or iTunes, or anything in the digital streaming platform. Film would be Vimeo, YouTube, Netflix. These people, these things have labels underneath them that sign content creators to a deal before they've made their way through who not necessarily what you know or what you have. A lot of time it is what you have, because those content creators are either come from a socioeconomic class that is not is not directly related to the lower economic classes, either upper middle class or high class individual, or monetarily a high economic class. And then then what you have is not a lot of opportunities. But again, I just want to repeat myself that there are companies out there like Blizzard and big companies that have demonized and cut out all opportunities for the lower economic class, because they have been basically manipulated by getting themselves into bad brand deals. And I have to commend the open source businesses out there that have not sold their intellectual properties away. And I have to say, DreamHack, you've done that amazingly. You've put together an amazing product that hasn't sold its soul, hasn't sold its intellectual properties away. And while it's still a growing market, and there's not, because that hasn't happened, that there hasn't been, because it is already a great business model, and it is on its way to success far greater than any other gaming convention, land-based gaming convention that's out there, because there really is no competition as far as that comes. There are smaller land festivals, but when we're talking about a big festival, there's not another festival with a brand name like DreamHack out there. And again, have to commend them on holding that intellectual property while doing small collaborative deals with Coca-Cola, with Monster Energy, and other companies like the New Belgium Brewing Company, which is arguably could get acquired by the Coors Corporation. But let's just these things out there that they've done are very forward thinking. The DreamHack has been very forward thinking. When you start hearing the conversation that comes from their adversaries and the people in the similar markets, like a Blizzard or whatnot, they speak badly about the great things that DreamHack has done. And I just want to again thank them for the opportunity that they gave me for being able to put together a production and help them market and brand as well, and show a light to the good work that they're doing on allowing people to create intellectual property within their system and be cooperative or collaborative in the growth, not suffocating that thing, not suffocating them to the point at which they can't acquire wealth themselves. They can't, that the intellectual property or designer or the content creator can't create the wealth additionally through the means that their life is growing. And it's just an excellent thing. I have to say, I commend them on that, and I want to say again, thank you for that opportunity. I don't think I've ever said it to that point, and I needed to drive that point home, because I had a lot of people who came to me that had negative perception of DreamHack, maybe because DreamHack is doing the right thing, and because those companies out there like Blizzard and other things have been doing the wrong thing and demonizing their content creators and making and doing bad deals with companies like Twitch, which recently got acquired by Amazon. So Amazon hasn't done enough to correct the wrongs that Twitch has done throughout time, but is on its way, because the Twitch, the things that Twitch has done to destroy what made it successful in the beginning is not an advent of the acquisition by Amazon, but the issue with hiring people that had experience but were double agents for other companies that had negative interests in destroying the integrity of Twitch. And then because of that, then they're becoming an internal war between the Horde and the Alliance, and there never needed to be that. Never mind. But there needed to be an equality. There needs to be some establishment between the difference between the gaming world and the real world. Okay, and the perpetualness between what has occurred within this cesspool of what goes on in that realm isn't the greatest. Now we could easily flip it and go and start working with Facebook gaming or YouTube gaming and destroy the content creation from what Twitch has created. But the executive level of Twitch are trying to correct the wrong that actually happened, the issue that occurred within the system by making terrible marketing and advertising decisions, and hiring people who have direct interest in destroying the company, because they are earning income from companies that are in direct competition with Amazon and with companies that are in direct competition with Twitch as a streaming platform. So that if that was ever a problem, then it's been cut out right then and there. That's the thing that needed to be said. and it sickens me that has to be said. That being said, thank you to all the opportunities and things that have happened. The ability, the forward-thinking companies out there, like Postmates, like Lyft, like Uber, like DreamHack, like YouTube, not necessarily YouTube quite yet, because some of the old world mentality of Google and not allowing you to access your resources at all times, and then them utilizing the resources that you do earn to propagate and build their business and hold you out, so that time that you don't have your resources actually negatively affects you growing your own business. But maybe that is the stifle competition, but they shouldn't be stifling competition of the content creators that are growing their platform, because likely they should just be promoting people who are successful from within. So if you're a content creator that also has a talent at selling things, why not hire that person as chief executive officer of a certain feature or service within the YouTube hemisphere? Instead, what they're doing is hiring people from a broken education system, in which now it's more that the value from companies is the people, the old world shit. Excuse my language. The old world stuff is the old world rules and regulations toward where you have to have a degree is from an institution is going away, as certifications from recognized accredited companies is more valued than the old world university and college system, because you know too much about too many things, whereas an accredited technical application is going to be more directly going to get the job done, where there are companies that will potentially out there that do create your university style system, allow you to be versatile in potentially creating new ideas or coming up with new things because you know a little bit about different subject matters. Unfortunately, the world is not what we think it is, and there aren't a lot of opportunities maybe in the retail fashion industry, in the business acquisitions industry, the stock industry, the investment world, that allows you to do something very similar to the blockchain, where you have access to your resources and your earnings at all times, where we're feeding into a system that actually does financially, spiritually, emotionally benefit you in the nanosecond or even the quantum second. And this is a lot to decompose, and I hope you were able to kind of laugh at my ignorance and get an idea that I'm kind of come to a ceiling of sorts, is what Brian said, that I've hit a ceiling in my opportunity. So the ceiling in my opportunity is that there's not another there. And maybe someone could come into my socials. I'm at Trent Knox and at Trent Knox TV on pretty much all platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of those platforms, and give me maybe a little your insight into if there's another industry outside of the last mile delivery system in which you get you receive your pay through a third party. You don't receive your pay 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. You get paid daily, and it's a big business and a big industry in which you can get your money at any time. Let's say you go on lunch and you've spent all your assets for the month with bills, and you're saving that in a separate account in which all your bills and stuff get paid out of. But you do your personal shopping, everything that you do, like getting a pizza or paying for lunch, dinner, breakfast, comes out of another business, another bank or account. Sorry, rather, not another bank. Well, potentially maybe a different bank, depending upon whether there's opportunities, whatever the opportunity may be. I would like to talk to an economist, maybe a financial expert on the best way to get your money in a high yielding APY savings, maybe even business account, to be able to earn a little bit of money off of the money that does stay in that account, and grow your capital and your equity to be able to fund the larger, grander system. Because a lot of us that live in the United States, live in around the world, that work for the westernized business or maybe Eastern style commercial capitalism, don't realize that if we get stuck in a dead-end job and we never went to college, we never got a technical school, they never gave us accreditations while we were working there, you worked at McDonald's, you became a manager, then You got a management job at AT&T. You got a management job where at Walmart. You just keep on getting in this cyclical cycle of there not being much opportunity to grasp a world in which you're earning enough income and you're building enough capital and equity to where you can start establishing your own brands, your own agencies, your own you own your own properties. You're going out there. You're building wealth. You're building large amounts of wealth, and you're building wealth that goes to your children, to your family, to the people that you'll be succeeded by, or is that the right word? Succeeded by or succeeded by your successors, the people that are related to you, and so that the future is good for those people. Whereas right now, a lot of the issue is that we aren't doing this, and we're not even looking out for our communities, because we don't look out for our communities. Let alone do we look out for ourselves, because we sign bad deals. We sign deals with corporations that are looking for that are working to make the best dollar, the fast dollar, and cut costs and build strawmen and a house of cards that is established on fake false data based on analytics and clicks and turning pages and sales and things that are manipulated by inaccurate data that's not being regulated by big government or big business, and it all just kind of creates a hectic world in which we're just getting destroyed all the time, and we wonder to ourselves how we can build a better future. And that better future starts from within. It starts from a person like myself looking for better opportunities. And I'm out there, I'm asking you, I'm pleading to you, if you know any opportunities that pay daily, or pay not daily, because like daily indicates that they pay at 5 p.m. at the end of the day, but they pay on the minute. They pay nano minutes. They pay on quantum minutes. They allow you to access the resources that you earn for them on the quantum second or the nanosecond. And you are able to then utilize that capital and invest it in good opportunities like the blockchain technology, in businesses that have high integrity and that are validated by other companies that have high integrity, not companies like Walmart, Target, Budweiser, these companies that have a bad integrity, that they don't have high value, that they're constantly in the media with negative, just showing all these opinion pieces and about how logistics went wrong, how this went wrong. How about how about a system that evaluates companies and shows how many things have gone wrong, and then the companies that are on the top, you invest in those because they're safe, they're secure. They invest in safety and security instead of cutting their employees out from under themselves and utilizing the capital that they earn back into the system and destroying humanity. How about a companies that are looking out for the best interest of humanity and not artificial intelligence, but artificial intelligence is also good if it's being utilized in a manner in which it's helping humanity from the lowest economic class within the capitalist system to the human being that is removed in and is indigenous to an area within the Amazon or within the Pacific Islands or wherever in the world that is still primitive, and is looking out for that human being as well, and looking at it from a scientific level, but still incorporating the religions of the primitives and the indigenous people, while still coupling themselves with the Hindu and the Western Eastern philosophies of the world, and being socially conscious about the indigenous people, and also socially conscious about the Westerners, and also socially conscious about the intellectual dimensional outside of this world beings, and being the ultimate person and the best, and being greater, and having conversations with intellectual people, and not being a demon or angelic demon or angel into the world, but rather creating a different narrative that is of its own, and not a follower, but an educator and a student. And because the term follower or a liker or whatever is negative, it's also positive, but it's not the proper way of describing things, because it doesn't ultimately lead to the benefit of people to be nourished and flourish and flower and become great and powerful as the human race. So in closing, let's make this world a greater place. Let's not just make America a greater place. Let's make the world a greater place. Let's build that utopia. But let's make damn sure that we don't close people out, and we don't close ourselves in, because and that we don't hate people for their inability to communicate with us, but rather educate them in the way that in the best way that they can learn, and find out those people who are willing to educate those people and teach them. Because what we're doing is we're putting educators that don't want to teach those people, that have no desire in helping those people become greater people, in positions in which they have to educate those individuals. Instead of there being we're copping out. We're essentially making it so that sorry, I'm suffering from a little bit of a cold, or not really a cold, but like dry. I'm feeling very dry. Anyway, internally, not very wet. But anyway, so I don't know how to explain this. A sore throat. I think I have a sore throat. The issue is that these educators they despise their students. Maybe because their students have sexual interest in them. Maybe it's because of their skin color. Maybe it's because of their ideologies. Maybe it's because of their religion. Maybe it's because of all these reasons. Let's find the correct educators that fit the right communities. So if there's students out there that don't want to listen to if there are males out there or boys out there that find their teacher sexually attractive, maybe the best thing to do, and they learn well from sexually attractive women that are women that they're sexually attracted to, they learn the best from that, and they don't learn the best from a male figure that is trying to impose their ego on this individual, or potentially create a pedophilic relationship with them as a woman or as a girl or a boy, we should definitely keep them out of the educational institutions, and we should be screening these teachers that are sexual predators far earlier than it is. But at the same time, there are going to be pedophiles out there. There are going to be people out there that think pedophilia is an okay thing. I am not sold on the point that it is, and I don't care about that TED Talk that was out there that was promoting pedophilia. But what I want to say is that maybe there is a world out there that women, that there is a world out there of mature women that are sexually attractive to immature boys, but immature boys will learn better from sexually attracted to women that are sexually attracted to little boys. That could be the case. I don't know, but I want to make sure that it is it's in there that the pedophilia comes on both genders. Actually, it comes from all genders. Pedophilia comes from transvestites, lesbians, gays, queers, whatever you want to call it. It comes from all of those things. Let's not just demonize heterosexuality. Okay? Let's be intellectuals here. Okay? Let's not play no games, cuz I feel like there's a bunch of bullshit going around as it relates to the fact that everything's not being put on the table. All the cards aren't being played. Let's play all the cards, including let's play the jokers. Let's play the advertisement cards that are inside the deck. You know what I'm talking about. If people are going to use digital cards to manipulate the game, so that they're holding a bunch of digital cards and they've finessed it so that that there's sleight of hand within the game, so that they're manipulating the dealer, and the dealer, there's a social network on the table that causes this disconnect, because the dealer's on Facebook and he's being manipulated because the other people are all conversating on Twitter, and that there's not a one system that communicates, and so there's a bit of unfairness to playing the game. Let's make the game fair, and that let's not see. I just said it. I said the word, and then I was looking not to say the word fair, because fair indicates that there's a conclusion to the other person being unfair, and that's not the case. It's just a matter of there should be rules and regulations on what can and can't be done, and there isn't a trend of people. There's not a trend of cheaters being. There's people. The cheaters just keep cheating, and the rule followers keep following the rules. You just. How do we find a institution? Let's find an institution of all the cheaters and figure out. Let's figure out why cheaters are communicating to each other and teaching each other the cheats, and teaching each other how to cheat and be liars, and figure out how we can get the cheaters in one room and have the cheaters teach the cheaters, and the liars teach the liars, and the rule followers teach the rule followers, and let's just keep the cheaters cheating each other, and the rule followers following the rules with each other and holding hands, and let's keep those communities separated, so that everybody's happy and that there's not this pain in the world. Just get everything the right way. Do everything the right way. And not do anything wrong, because if we just keep doing things wrong, people are going to be upset because you hurt your family, you hurt your friends, you hurt your acquaintances, you hurt the person that's across the table with you, that is ignorant and doesn't agree with you and doesn't know what you know. And we can't get to the place in which we're all just living in a utopia. We just all want to live in a utopia, right? It's what we're trying to get at. So that's all I got to say. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. I appreciate it, and hopefully this rant got to you.